There is a pattern older than any nation you can name. A sequence so predictable, historians have watched it unfold across continents and centuries like clockwork wound by human nature itself. 6 stages, always 6, from Golden Age to Ash. Rome followed it. France followed it. Every empire that ever carved its name into stone followed it. And now, so are we. This isn't a warning. Warnings come before the storm. This is recognition. We're in stage 4. The pattern begins the same way every time. Stage 1. Prosperity. Gold flows. Bellies are full. The streets hum with trade and ambition. People believe the good times will last forever because they've never known anything else. The marble is still white. The coins still shine. Stage 2. Inequality. Wealth pools at the top like water finding cracks in stone. The distance between those who have and those who have not becomes a chasm, but the machine still runs. The bread still comes. So no one riots. Not yet. Stage 3. Corruption. When wealth concentrates, so does power. And power without accountability rots from within. Laws become suggestions for the rich and shackles for the poor. Trust in institutions, the invisible glue holding society together, begins to dissolve. The marble cracks. The coins lose their shine. Stage 4. Loss of faith. This is where we are now. People stop believing the system works for them. They stop believing their leaders care. They stop believing their vote matters, their voice counts, their sacrifice means anything. The crowd begins to shout. Stage 5. Chaos. When faith collapses, so does order. Violence erupts not from invasion, but from within. Streets burn. Neighbors turn on neighbors. The center cannot hold because there is no center anymore. The marble falls. Stage 6. Strong man. Out of the chaos, someone always emerges. Someone who promises order at any cost. Someone who says, "Give me power, and I will make you safe." And desperate, exhausted, terrified. People do. The coins are melted down. The marble is dust. This is the pattern. 6 stages. Every time. And the most terrifying part? It's never an accident. In the year 180 AD, Rome was still the greatest power the world had ever seen. Legions controlled 3 continents. Aqueducts carried water to millions. Philosophy, law, engineering. Rome was civilization itself. But beneath the marble, something was rotting. For centuries, wealth had been flowing upward. Senators owned estates the size of provinces. Slaves worked fields that once belonged to free farmers. The Senate, once the voice of the people, became a club for aristocrats buying favors with gold. Stage 2. Stage 3. By the 3rd century, Roman citizens stopped believing Rome was their empire. It was someone else's empire. Someone richer. Someone untouchable. When the barbarians came, Romans didn't fight for Rome. They watched it burn. Because they'd stopped believing it was worth saving. In 1788, France was the envy of Europe. Versailles glittered with gold. Art, culture, philosophy. Paris was the light of the world. But outside the palace gates, people were starving. The aristocracy paid no taxes. The clergy owned 1/3 of the land. And the people, the ones who tilled the soil, baked the bread, built the roads, carried the entire weight of the state on their backs. Marie Antoinette never said, "Let them eat cake," but it didn't matter. People believed she did, because by then, belief was all that mattered. Stage 4 became Stage 5 in a single summer. The Bastille fell. Heads rolled. The streets ran red. And when the chaos consumed itself, when France was so exhausted by violence it could barely stand, Napoleon walked in. Stage 6. He didn't seize power. France handed it to him, begged him to take it. Because any order felt better than the fire. After World War I, Germany was broken, economy shattered, national pride humiliated. The Treaty of Versailles squeezed reparations from a country that could barely feed itself. Inflation became so extreme that people burned money for warmth. A wheelbarrow of cash couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Life savings evaporated overnight. Stages 1 through 3 collapsed in a decade. And when faith died, when Germans stopped believing democracy could save them, when chaos erupted in the streets, when communists and fascists fought open battles in Berlin, a man with a mustache and a voice like thunder stood on a stage and said, "I will restore order. I will make Germany great again." You know what happened next? Stage 6 always looks like salvation. Until it doesn't. 3 empires, 3 collapses, same pattern, same stages, same ending. Now let's talk about us. Stage 1 is behind us. We remember prosperity. We remember when a single income could buy a house, raise kids, retire comfortably. We remember when the future felt bright. That was our marble and gold. Stage 2 arrived quietly. The wealth gap is now wider than it was in ancient Rome. 3 men hold more wealth than the bottom half of the country combined. CEOs make 300 times what their workers earn. Housing, healthcare, education, the pillars of stability, now cost more than entire lifetimes can afford. The crack in the stone widened while we weren't looking. Stage 3 is undeniable now. Insider trading by lawmakers. Lobbying that drowns out citizen voices. Tax codes written by the people they're supposed to tax. Justice that bends depending on how expensive your lawyer is. Nobody even pretends anymore. The game is rigged. Everyone knows it. And when everyone knows the system is corrupt, but nothing changes, that's when faith dies. Stage 4, this is where we are. People don't trust the media. Don't trust the government. Don't trust the other party, the other tribe, the other side of the country. Belief in shared reality is splintering. Left and right aren't debating solutions anymore. They're debating whether the other side is even human. We're not witnessing polarization. We're witnessing the collapse of the center. The thing that holds us together isn't policy or ideology. It's trust, and trust is evaporating. You can feel it, can't you? That low hum of anger just beneath the surface. That sense that something is breaking and no one knows how to fix it. That's stage 4. History doesn't care about your politics. It doesn't care if you're left or right, red or blue, optimist or cynic. History is a pattern, and we're following the script. Stage 5 is chaos. Not invasion, not war. Just rupture. The social fabric tearing at the seams, institutions failing, neighbor turning on neighbor. Stage 6 is what comes after. When people are so exhausted, so desperate for order, they'll accept anyone who promises to restore it, and they'll call it salvation. Even as the marble turns to dust. Empires don't fall because of enemies. They fall because the people inside them stop believing in what holds them together. Rome didn't fall to barbarians. It fell because Romans stopped being Romans. France didn't fall to foreign armies. It fell because the French stopped believing in France. Germany didn't fall to weakness. It fell because desperation made them strong in all the wrong ways. The pattern is a mirror, not a prophecy. We're not doomed to repeat history, but we are standing exactly where every other civilization stood before it collapsed. Stage 4, loss of faith. The question isn't whether the pattern is real. The question is whether we'll recognize it in time. Whether we'll choose to rebuild trust instead of tearing down what's left. Whether we'll remember that empires aren't conquered from outside. They rot from within. This isn't just America's story. It's not just the West's story. It's the story of every civilization that forgot the lesson the last one learned too late. We're not witnessing history repeat itself. We're watching it finish the script. The only question that matters now is, do we have the courage to write a different ending?